Welcome to What is Going On in the UC, and today we're going to continue on this theme of salvation, since so many of you chimed in yesterday and said that you want more of this type of discussion. What is salvation? Well, basically, deep down inside of us, an untapped power exists. That power is ignited when we no longer fear that we are unloved. The only person that can unlock that power is a parent. If our parents were true parents, we would have never created the layers that cover over that power source, the layers of self-doubt, the layers of fear that cover over that core, overflowing love powerhouse, activity powerhouse, that powerhouse that would have us following our heart's desire in various hobbies. We would explore with more courage various things, but when we fear that there's no home to come back to, when we fear that we can do wrong, we are stagnant and then we die. So this is called the opposite of the tree of life. This is called the tree of death, because we inherit this fear from people who inherited it from their parents. Tree of death. A hope deferred makes the heart sick. A desire fulfilled is a tree of life. That means because of this power, this inner shimjung within us as human beings is left to explore the universe, we are able to experience a life of success, a life of courage, a life of self-confidence, a life of confidence in our relationships, a life where we can give out because we're not concerned about what is filling our cup. We can give out. This is called the tree of life. And we have this tree of life welling up inside of us, and we have many fruits coming from it because we know that we are loved. In other words, we are a tree of life because we come from people who are trees of life, who have no problem being parental to us. And because we grew up with them having no problem being parental to us, we have no problem exploring the world and doing all sorts of things, including being good parents to the next generation. It's the tree of life. The Bible suggests that we are all looking for the tree of life. The DP says that we want a balance of internal truth and external truth. So let me say it another way. Everybody wants to come from good parents because nobody wants to be freaked out or basket case their entire life, and you want to be free to inhale and exhale every moment of your life with gratitude, without anxiety, and maximize the moments of your life. Much of that has to do with how your life was started in the care of your parents. So we all want to have come from good parents. Even if you feel that you don't want to complain against your parents, you still want to ensure that your children have the best type of parents. And if you ever thought about this in a public ministry capacity, you want to minister to people so that, not that they would throw rocks at their parents if their parents were bad, but that they would just determine that the next generation that they're responsible for, to the best of their ability, would be more likely to have better parents. This is the minimum type of conviction or determination that we as unificationists should have. All right, so I'm going to talk now about salvation. Salvation is a matter of going from the tree of death to the tree of life. How does this happen? Well, being a part of the tree of death, they say it's a dog-eat-dog world, and you actually think that way because you're a part of the tree of death. So when you look at people, you look at competitors, you're looking at potential trouble. Part of being in the tree of life is viewing humanity for what their true potential is, and viewing yourself in the same light, in the spectrum of everything that God created. Human beings are the most splendid thing. So part of salvation is the changing of your mind about what it means to be human. And one of the miracles of salvation is when you're able to clothe people in that viewpoint. In other words, even your enemies, even people who have made mistakes, or people who have all sorts of problems, you're able to clothe them in this type of understanding and in this type of consideration. That actually, you're actually saved by that. So when we saw this lowly carpenter who lived 2,000 years ago, when we saw him as sufficient to be the mediator, the elder brother between myself and God, that he was qualified. When you go through that process and you say to yourself, well, why not? And you can actually do the smallest thing to treat him as if he was a mediator between God and you, then what you actually do is you set the condition whereby you tell you've just told the entire universe that that's how you see the value of all human beings, including yourself. And this is why when the woman reached out and touched the hem of Jesus' garment, Jesus said, your faith has made you whole. In other words, it was her insistence that he had that value that actually changed her. In like manner, when we accept true father and true mother as the mediator of true lineage, and by that faith, we are also telling the entire universe that true father, with all his quirks and different issues that people are uncovering and dealing with, that he is still qualified. When you allow him to be qualified as Heavenly Father, you then are qualified to be a father representing God. The other part of salvation in the unification church sense is knowing the bare minimum rules to creating the kingdom of heaven. And the bare minimum to creating the kingdom of heaven is my sexuality belongs to my spouse, and my willingness to treat all human beings as having the same potential. And just by doing that, we are holding our own as partners of God to make sure that the tree of life stays healthy and prosperous. Okay, if you like this, like, subscribe, share. Talk to you later.